Today on the channel, we're going to unbox a really special guitar. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to unbox a guitar that was custom made for me by a friend of mine that I met online. His name's Phil Orasek. He's a spine surgeon in Sacramento, California that's been making custom guitars for about, he said 8 years, I guess maybe 8 years, maybe a little bit longer. But Phil first of all, he's a great guy. It's unbelievable. He reached out to me several months ago. We are both very passionate about guitars and craftsmanship, and he wanted to build this guitar for me. And I was like, yeah, let's do it, man. So we talked about specs and the things that we both like in guitars, and this type of music we like to play is very similar. Our interests are very similar. So this is a handmade guitar. Phil has a CNC machine, and he cuts the bodies. He does the necks. He makes the necks from scratch. He frets the guitar, sets it up, intonates it, paints it. I'm going to go over a bunch of specs later on as far as everything that's on this guitar. As far as pickups, he has sprays it with nitro, but I don't know. He wouldn't tell me exactly what color. He wouldn't tell me what color this was. We talked about color schemes and different colors of nitro and various things I was looking for. I know it's got a Vega tremolo system on it, and I know that it's got a humbucker and 2 singles, which we talked about, but I don't know the kind of pickups he put in it. I don't even know what kind of wood this is made out of. From what I recall, he said this wood was about 400 years old. But this is the reveal. This is the first time I've seen this guitar. I don't know what color it is. I don't know what kind of pickups are in it. I was making sure that it's not upside down. So this is a very, very exciting moment for me. We're going to see it together, and then I'm going to do a close-up review of it and give you the specs, and then we will do a sound test. But Phil's goal was to make me a guitar that would be my favorite guitar, my shredder guitar. And man, I plan on putting this thing through its paces. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't believe this thing is finally here. It took almost 3 months to make this thing. Came all the way from California to Tennessee. I can smell it. All right, so here we go. The reveal. Ta-da! Oh my word. Oh my gosh. This thing is beautiful. Oh my goodness, check this out. Look at this baby. Oh my Lord. It's in tune even. Oh my God. I love it. Check out the neck joint on this thing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so let's get this thing on the bench and check it out. Check out this headstock. Check out the back of the headstock on this. How thick it is. Never seen anything like that before in my life. It's so cool. It looks kind of like a UFO. Oh man. Wow. Phil, thank you for doing this for me, man. This is just wonderful. I really, really appreciate it. We're going to get a close-up look at this thing. I'm going to put it on the bench, and we'll do some zoom ins on it, and then we'll do an audio test.
All right, so before we get started, let's take a look at this spec sheet that Phil sent me on this guitar. So Phil lives in Fair Oaks, California, and he is a spine surgeon by day and builds guitars. And let me just say, if his spine surgery is as good as his guitars, then he's the guy you want to go see to get fixed up. But anyway, he's out in Fair Oaks, California, and this is the Model S that he shipped out. The woods, the body was made out of it's made out of sassafras wood, and it's a burgundy mist nitrocellulose paint job. It's got a bit of a sparkle to it, just beautiful. The neck, Sinker old growth maple. It's approximately 400 to 500 years old. QS, not sure what QS stands for, but the fingerboard is Indian Laurel QS. Neck specifications: 22 frets, Jescar stainless steel frets, 12-inch radius fret, nut width is 1 5/8 inch. Light scalloping, it starts from the 12th to the 22nd fret, which is great for grabbing those notes. Headstock angle 8 degrees with nitrocellulose. Oil finish on the back of the neck. The nut is vintage bone. Fret markers are mother of pearl. The dots are the Luminlay glow-in-the-dark dots, which is so cool. And let's see, neck carve, it's chunky C. I love a chunky neck. This thing is super fat. Carbon fiber neck reinforcement fixed. And as far as pickups, we're looking at Arcane 61 SC neck and middle. Paradox HB humbucker bridge, 7.91K. The volume pot is a Dunlop Super Pot. Tone CTS, there are 250K pots. Tuners, we got the Godo 510 minis. The jack is a pure tone mono jack. A Vega tremolo. Man, this bridge, this Vega tremolo bridge is so smooth. I don't think I've ever played a bridge this smooth. It blows away a Floyd Rose. I never thought I'd say that, but it does. And the pickup selector is it's a freeway switch. It's got a 10-way blade, so we're going to take a look at that. I never have played with a 10-way blade before, and it's pretty incredible. So let's check this guitar out in full detail. Here's a close-up of the body. We're going to take a real good look at this paint. This is the Burgundy Mist nitrocellulose. Recently, California had a lot of rain, a lot of cold weather. It rained for like a month and a half straight. And after the nitro settled in for 2 weeks, it started to do this little bit of a flake, I guess you could say. It started to separate a little bit. And Phil was really disappointed in the fact that this guitar started to do this. These aren't even stress points, but he was like, I'd have to sand the whole guitar down and redo the whole thing. And I was like, man, I don't mind it with a little bit of a relic look to it, so I'm fine with that. But he was pretty bummed about that. He said he's never had a guitar do that before. Who knows? Maybe it's the nitro, but we think it's the humidity. Normally California is really dry and doesn't have any humidity, but man, they got 2 months of rain when he was making this guitar. So this is the Strat style body, obviously a little bit different shape on the pick guard. I will tell you that Phil makes these guitars all from scratch. Other than the electronics and the tuners, the knobs, tremolo, he uses a CNC machine to cut out the body shape. He makes the pick guard. He makes the necks. He frets everything. He intonates. This is his headstock design. I think it looks kind of like a UFO. In Philip's words, this is an acquired taste. I got to admit, when I first saw these headstocks on some of his guitars he made when we first started talking, I thought, man, that's kind of weird. I thought it kind of looked like a golf putter. But I mean, it does grow on you. I think it's pretty wicked cool, man. And like I said, I think it looks kind of like a UFO in a way. But anyways, wait till you see the profile of this thing. It's so thick. When we get up on these frets, there's the mother of pearl inlays. These frets are super, super smooth, nice rounded edges. Then we get up here on the 12th fret, we've got some light scalloping going on. once we hit the 12th fret. Nothing crazy, not like an Yngwie Strat, and that makes me happy because I don't like a really deep scallop. I tend to bend notes out of pitch. I know a lot of guys like those things, and that's cool, but I like this light scalloped fretboard. It kind of reminds me of the Steve Vai Gems where they're scalloped like on the last 4 or 5, 6 frets. But this is 12 frets up, light scallop on there. Okay, so check out this 5-way blade. This 5-way blade, you can move it. So when you're in the humbucker position, you can snap it to the side, and that splits this into a single coil mode. And this thing can be moved to the side in all positions. So when you're in a single coil pickup, you can get this out of phase tone. This is like a Swiss Army knife. This guitar, it can do like any sound that you want, other than it doesn't have a piezo pickup. It can't do acoustic, but that's like the only thing. Very, very versatile. The action on this guitar is so low it almost plays itself. Phil set this guitar up so nice, and with this bone nut and the way this neck sits in this pocket, the action is just it's unbelievable. No fret buzzes, nothing. This is probably the lowest action guitar that I have other than my 81 Les Paul Custom Black Beauty. That thing is super low. Looks like this input jack's got a little bit of patina on it. I love it. This is the Vega Tremolo. Let's get a close-up look. If you guys have never played a Vega Tremolo, these are nice. They've got a really nice aluminum type feel to them. They seem to be very lightweight, but this thing is floating, so when we hit some notes, it takes hardly any effort whatsoever to press it down or to lift it up. I mean, it's just so smooth. You can press down on it a little bit and pull up, but boy, it's got a lot of travel. And with this bone nut, it does not go out of tune. It stays stable just like a locking nut. Look at these strap buttons. These strap buttons are really cool. They've got this neat shape to them. I love those. It'll keep the strap from falling off the way that they're angled. Kind of an elliptical shape to it. All right, so let me flip this thing over. We'll take a look at the backside. So here's the backside, and once again we see a little bit of the nitro where it's separated. Phil was very disappointed once again about that, but I'm like, man, I don't care. It's cool. It's going to get used and abused anyway, so let it rip. I love how the neck is attached to the body. Look at the neck joints here. It's kind of like their ferrules here that just go right in. And then the neck is attached like this. Looks like there's almost some kind of sealer on there to connect. I'd have to ask him about that. Getting a better look at this paint. This paint job is beautiful. I can see why he was upset that it checked a little bit like this or came apart, but you know, things happen. I've never had anybody build me a guitar from scratch before. It was very generous of him. I'm just in love with this guitar. This came undone in shipping. I'm going to have to solder this input jack, or not the input jack, the ground wire to the plate. The cool thing about it is I tested this guitar out after I opened it up just briefly to see if it played okay, and it doesn't really even buzz with this off. Phil has has sprayed and coated the inside cavities so well and shielded it that there's virtually no buzz anyway. This thing's quieter than than all my Stratocasters that are grounded properly. So there's some kind of secret in the sauce. Okay, this has some oil on it, some oil finish. The only thing that I prefer is just bare wood. So over time, this will probably get a little bit more, maybe a little bit. It's not tacky, it's not gooey. I like it, but over time, it'll probably get a little less oil feel, a little bit less of an oil feel on it. If not, I may run just a little light grade of steel wool over it just to get it a little bit less oil feeling. Here's the headstock. Look at this thing. Look how thick this headstock is. And you probably notice this right away. These tuners are embedded into the headstock. This is kind of like one of Phil's things, man. There's a lot of stuff on this guitar they were firsts for me. First of all, this headstock. I've never seen a headstock this shape, and I've never seen tuners in a headstock, and it's very thick. You can see the thickness of this neck. Check out the neck is super thick, and then the headstock is like double. It's so cool. And then here's the scarf joint. Here's a little bit closer look of it here. Once again, Phil is a spine surgeon, and he's out of Sacramento, California. That's his main gig, but he has been building custom guitars for about 8 years, he said. So you can hit him up on Instagram, Phil Oracek. I'll put him in the links or in my description below, and you can check him out. He would love to talk to you, and there's a lot of pictures of guitars he's made on his site. He's got some very beautiful designs and guitars he's done over the years. But this one was custom made for me, and was totally a he asked me about my specs, the things I wanted to do, and his goal was to make me the ultra shredder and ultimate tool for my playing, and I think he succeeded. So what we're going to do now is we're going to plug this thing into the Fractal X8. We're going to run several different types of tones out of it and see what she sounds like. So let's give it a spin.